the self-service platform is made up of several different components. You've got the account, the forms, processes, integration, analytics, and you also have to consider assisted service. So let's see what it feels like for the business. As I mentioned, one of the most fundamental important parts of this is actually business process redesign. So we already saw a lot of our clients and organizations actually mapping out their business processes. That allows you to work out where the waste is. It allows you to work out where the steps you can completely cut out of that process. And it also allows you to cost that process. So you can actually cost your as-is process. And then when you redesign it, you can cost up what your new process will actually cost you. And what we discovered is that fundamentally, often you might have a business, a sort of back office application, which will actually do this process for you, which is great. In that case, you can just push that data straight into that business process and you can use that. However, what we've also discovered is an awful lot of systems out there, or a lot of processes out there, which do not have back-end processes, because they are things like booking systems, or they're things that are just small light-end stuff that currently is being done in spreadsheets or done on people's desks. Well, actually, what you need is a self-service platform which actually allow you to deliver these processes very, very effectively. So one thing that we've made sure that's in the platform is the ability to not only design the process, but a workflow engine in order to run this process. So here you can see this is an example bulky waste collection process, which you can actually build in the self-service platform. You draw it, and this is actually the process that will run within your workflow engine. If you make a change to this diagram, that's the process that will then run within your application. So you don't have to produce a diagram and then actually get a bunch of coders to go and rebuild it. The actual workflow itself will actually work off the design diagram. And we think this is really, really powerful, because what we've discovered is that you'll iterate over the process again and again and again, trying to work out and refine and refine and refine. You'll also be able to define when you want to interact with the client. So very quickly there, as soon as we start the process, you can see we send an acknowledgement email. When we actually review it, if we need some more information, we will quickly send an email back to the citizen and say, oh, hang on a minute, there's an edge case here, we need some more information from you. If the bulky waste is actually delayed, we've got a time one there, we will immediately send a delay email saying, sorry, we haven't got back to you within 24 hours. Please bear with us another 24 hours, we should have it done by then, and we can escalate it. So you have that flexibility of actually designing your process and delivering that process into the self-service platform. It's a really good, effective way of actually coming up with these ad hoc processes and also making sure that you build stuff into it. What does it feel like to the citizen? Also important. Personas, as we mentioned, is a great way of actually testing that. So let's meet Sarah and David, both working, both internet enabled. They may want to run through that bulky waste collection. How do they do it? Basically, they go to their self-service platform. That could be a portal, or it could be completely built into their website. They would then go to the relevant form. They would complete the form. This form is completely personalized to them. So it won't ask them for their name, it won't ask them for the address, because if they have an account, it will pre-fill all that. It will cut away all that friction that you normally have to self-service. Once they've, it will also do things like filling out the dates that they might want their collections collected on, because we know where they live. We can talk to another system, we can pull through collection dates, and we can pre-fill it for them. So they can hopefully interact with the service really, really, really quickly in a very efficient manner. The next step of the process, well, they might have filled that form in, and there might be an edge case. So we might have to send that to a human. In this case, it goes off to Michelle. She actually checks that bulky waste collection. Hopefully, 99% of things, it will not have to be touched by a human. But every now and then, there might be an edge case, there might be a question. That's fine. We will direct it to a human being. The human being will log on to the website. They'll have the same experience as a citizen did. So it's not a back-end CRM system. It's the same website or the same customer portal that the citizen actually interacted with. Why not? After all, you've designed it for a mobile, you've designed it to a tablet, and you've designed it to be the best experience you possibly can. So why don't you give your staff that same experience? Why give them a 1980s CRM system? Why don't they just use the web platform like everybody else is doing? Makes the most sense to me. So she will then interact with the process, she will send it back to the citizen, or she will allow it to continue. The citizen is continually informed about what's going on all the way through the process, because that's the job of the service platform, is to continually tell everybody exactly what's going on. Part of the process might involve some back office staff or actual collection staff who are out on the street. So in this case, again, we've got a persona for Noah. He works for multiple occasions, he's often on the road, and his job is actually, he needs management tools to collect stuff. So what will he do? He will use his mobile device. He will have the same great experience as the citizen, the same great experience as Michelle. He will then claim the job. He will delegate the job. He can update the job. He can add notes, and he can complete the task. or through the same web platform. No different. And once he's done, obviously, the citizen will immediately be told, because Noah's pushing his data into the same self-service platform that all the rest of the guys are. Therefore, telling the citizens that we've done the job, or allowing the citizens to come back and see what Noah's up to at any point in time, is really, really, really easy. And the other thing about that is the citizens can go back and they can see not only what's been happening, they can see their current requests that are in flight, they can also see all their traditional historic requests, all via the platform, because all those requests have actually moved through the platform at one stage or another. So basically, you've got a happy, informed citizen. They get everything they want, all their transactions in one place, all their statuses are updated automatically. So they get a great experience. But what about this other thing? You know, data. Because it's all flowing through the platform, surfacing up a dashboard so you can actually share your performance with your staff, you can share your savings with the staff. You know, that's a key driver, because then you can know what you can reinvest in. As Paul mentioned, often you'll sort of pick on a process, you'll make sure that's refined, prove the savings, and then use that as a showcase to all the other parts of the organisation to enable you to break down those organisational barriers. But what about digitally excluded people? You know, this assisted service. Sometimes assisted service isn't about teaching people how to use the web, because often it's too late by then. And we all know from these sort of slides is that it's really, really, really important. So let's take a user persona for somebody who wants assisted service. So this is Mavis, she's a retired nurse. She's fit and active. She may have a mobile phone, but she's, you know, that's not her method of talking to her local authority. She will pick up the phone. It's her first thought. That's not a problem. She will phone in. She will call into the call centre. Michelle will be there answering the phone. Michelle will be logging on to the digital platform as before. The thing is that Michelle now has more powers. She has the ability to provide assisted service. And what she does is pretty much look up Mavis. Now, if you've got a screen pop because it's got telephone integration, that will happen automatically. If you don't, then you can type Mavis in and we can find Mavis's details. Once we identify that it's Mavis, we can then manage her existing requests, or we can request a new request. And all that happens is when she does this, Michelle will be taken to the same forms that you would see on a normal website. The difference is all the pre-filled forms will be filled out with Mavis's details. And then all Michelle has to do is just talk Mavis through the forms that she's filling out. There isn't another CRM. There isn't another integration to be made. It's the same web platform. And all the information is filled out on Mavis's behalf for her. And hopefully, because she's using the same platform, Michelle can then talk to Mavis about all her other activities, and she can get a complete single customer view of Mavis's activities, so she can work out if there's some recurring problems that Mavis might have that she might be able to help her with. And also, because she's using the platform, there will be interactions that need to go back to Mavis. So Mavis might have mentioned she's got a mobile phone, she's got a mobile phone number, or she may have an email account. So again, this is where the nudges come back in. We will still try and tell Mavis what's going on through her process via SMS or via an email. And hopefully in that email there might be a link. And that might one day encourage Mavis to click on that link, come back to the website and find exactly what's going on with her process. So it's that continual nudging that you need to do to move people online. So that's really what you want from a self-service platform. You need not only self-service, you need assisted service, you need components like live chat. Again, if someone's using online service, they get stuck, they might need that live chat to sort of get them over the hurdle. You need to make sure you've got automated emails, automated SMS, and also automated sort of social media functions. SMS is a great way of communicating, but it's expensive. If you can move it over to a more cheaper, free alternative for communication, make sure you can do that. And if you get it right, you can actually then meet your requirements that you're actually standing up for self-service, because it is about a lot of people to reduce the costs, to reduce the manual processes, to stop people rekeying stuff, because it's all part of the self-service platform. And hopefully then you can also sort of deliver the things that the actual citizen will want. You know, access to faster information, being able to do things out of hours. These things are really important. And we know this is because we've been trying to do this time and time and time again with our clients. And doing it in all sorts of different places and all sorts of different functions. So what does that mean? What does that actually end up looking like? Well, we believe it's something like this. Down below you will have all your services. Some of those services can be delivered by back-end systems, not a problem. Bit of integration work, pushing that data through. If you don't, you have a workflow capability that you can deliver it all via the self-service platform. At the top level, you can see all the relevant interactions. If you've got the sort of disjointed interactions, such as phone and email, where you've got unstructured data, fine, put them through an intermediary. That intermediary can go back to the citizen and say, hey, why don't you use our form? Or they could fill the form on behalf of that citizen. Either way, it will flow through the digital platform and then push through into the back-end system. Because that's what you want eventually. You want a single, secure online account. You want to be able to track all your stages at every stage and get notified at every stage. You want to access all your services in a personalized manner to cut down that friction. You want all your information wherever you want it on the go. You want to reduce avoidable contact wherever you possibly can. And by doing all those things, you can really, really push self-service up.
Thank you very much, Rob.